Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shai. I always say Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Wa Barak Wa Rapah Wa Kazak, the apostles, elders, and the brethren all throughout the four corners. Shalom. I always like to send up a prayer for everybody when I open my lesson. That's how I like to do it. That the Most High strengthen, heal, and bless all of us. I was listening last night. I was out there, trying to hustle, make a few dollars. And I was listening to the Star Report. I mean, a lot of y'all out there know about Star. Had the Star and Buck Wild show and shit. But he was talking about how there's some legislation that's being passed right now where in the schools, they're going to teach, as it's going to be required learning in the curriculum, LGBT history. This fucking place, America, this fucking place gotta go, man. This is total wickedness. They are straight up, they are going after the children. They are going after the children. You think Freddy Krueger was bad. Freddy Krueger said it was the children that gave him his power. He was always after what? The children. All right? The children of the grown-ups that burned him in the boiler room because he was taking them kids and he was murdering those kids. He was taking the kids and mutilating them and shit.
Molesting them first, yeah.
Molesting them and then mutilating them. So it was always about the children. You motherfuckers you are straight up going after the children. That's who you want. You don't care about the grown-ups because you're trying to poison the next generation, so you'll have a generation of people that are poisoned in the mind with this LGBT bullshit. And the scriptures say, what is it, Isaiah, about the Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit?
That's right. I got another one for you, too. This is Nahum 3 and 4. It said, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft that selleth nations through her whoredom and families through her witchcraft.
Look at that. And that's talking about the well-favored harlot. That's America. Who selleth nations through her whoredom and her witchcraft. What's an example of that? Over there in the Arab world, you can see videos of women in the Arab world. They wear that covering over their head. I forget the name of it.
Like the veil?
It's almost like a veil, but their face is revealed, but their head is covered. And they're over there twerking in the Arab world. That the madness of these nasty fucking ghetto whores here in the United States has spread across there. And the so-called white man is promoting that. Because where these ancient kingdoms got their power from was from satanic worship is centered around the worship of the woman. That's why the scriptures say all wickedness is little to the wickedness of a woman. There's nobody out there that is more wicked than a woman.
That's right.
The scriptures say all wickedness is little to the wickedness of a woman. And the scriptures say through her we all die. Remember that.
And especially the black or Latino Native American women, the Israelite women, because we have a high sex drive already, but under the rulership of the so-called white man, they have perverted our nation.
Right.
Our women teach our little girls how to twerk, and be sex objects instead of reading, arithmetic, cooking, and cleaning as a woman should. They teach them how to
be sex objects.
Exactly. What's the word they like to use? Over-sexualized.
They're over-sexualized. That's right. That's right. That's right. The girls, they're over-sexualized. That's exactly what it is. They're over-sexualized because of their goddamn whore-ass fucking mother.
Well, that's why it said, Nahum 3 and 4, it said, because of the multitude of whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft. And that goes into America and their philosophy. You got to remember, this whole world, even America, is under the guise of the Queen of Heaven. Like their power base in America is the District of Columbia, meaning the district of the Queen of Heaven.
Yep.
Columbia or Columbus or like Columbia movie, it goes into the dove, which that goes into Semiramis or the Queen of Heaven because the doves took care of her. That's why they put that in the motion pictures. They put it in front of the courthouses with the different idols. And one of the titles of the Queen of Heaven, the goddess with many names, one of her titles was being a harlot or the whore of Babylon.
Yep.
So these women are guys under that, and the white man, he worships the Queen of Heaven. That's why you even go to Skull and Bones in Yale, New Haven. They have a separate location for their goddess that they worship, Elogia, which goes as another name of the Queen of Heaven, which equals whoredom.
That's right.
It says, okay.
Go ahead.
It says, because the multitude of whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft, that selleth nations through her whoredom and families through her witchcraft.
That selleth nations through her whoredom and families through her witchcraft. So now the families of these other nations that they have order there, now they're starting to go, they're going to go into a chaotic state. Right. Because they're sitting there uplifting their women. That whole women's liberation and all that, that's all about degrading and destroying. That's all about destruction of a society. Because when you destroy the family structure, the society is destroyed. The society becomes totally and morally corrupt. And that's what happens. Look at America. Look at how America has degenerated. Us, the so-called ADOS, if you want to call it, African diaspora, that people like to call it. African Americans, which were from West Africa. And before we got into West Africa, we were in Israel, which some of you out there in the scholarly community will call that Western Asia, which I probably wouldn't fight with you over that, because when you look at the map, there's no disconnection in the landmass from Asia itself. So some people will call the land of Israel Western Asia. Okay, I'll give you that. The disconnect with our people here in the United States. Look at the state of our women, man. Our women, anybody can get to them. Now these Arabs, Hak Beam and all of them, that got their little their little fried chicken shop in the hood, or they got bodega. the little corner store. The bodegas used to be at least you would have one Negro back in the day that had a corner store, and a lot of Puerto Rican brothers, they had the bodegas, the corner stores. Now a lot of them is owned by Arabs. East Indians are owning the liquor stores, and the Arabs are pretty much in the corner stores and the gas stations, and the East Indians, they got the liquor stores and 7-Eleven, and they up in the gas stations too, but primarily as workers. They're usually Ishmael's running that. But the Ishmaelite dude will brag to you how he got 3 wives and he got like 10 girlfriends, and them 10 girlfriends he got are black and Hispanic hoes that are right local neighborhood sluts that come up in there. Because where we used to have the school back in the 90s, there'd be chicks that would come in there and get potato wedges, chicken, grab a gallon of milk and shit, and be eating "Aight Muhammad" and walk out the door. No money, no food stamps go on the counter. Because later on that night, they were going to come back and pay Muhammad with that ass. Yep. And a lot of these are black and Hispanic bitches in the hood, I'm going to call them. They got babies with these fucking nasty Arab motherfuckers. They got babies with these motherfuckers. They got these little heathen babies that are mingled amongst us.
That's right. The tares and the wheat.
Right. That's the parable of the tares and the wheat.
I got a precept for you. Mm-hmm. This is Leviticus 19:29. It says, "Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness."
Look at that. Whoredom and the land become full of wickedness. Look at the land. Look at the hood. Look at where we live. That's right. It's full of whoredom. All these women are fucking hoes. The first thing that happens when you meet any of these African American women, right? Hispanic women, but mainly them damn African American women. You meet her, or you meet her at the club, the fucking Stop and Shop, grocery store, wherever the hell. It becomes a situation of what can you get out of her without giving up any money? And how much money or things she can get out of you without giving up any pussy. That's the game between the both of y'all that's going on. What can she get out of you without giving up no ass?
That's right.
And basically, what can you get, how much pussy can you get out of her without giving up no money, without spending anything? That's the game, the dynamic that exists between us when we meet each other. Whether you meet her at the club, or you meet her at Stop and Shop, or you meet her at Walmart, or she walking down the street from the corner store. That's the game. Everybody is out to get each other. There's nobody, there's no togetherness. And that's why these children that are growing up as a result of these fucked up relationships, if you want to call it a relationship, that's not even a relationship. You got these two people having sex with each other that all they want to do is they just want to get off, but then the two dumb motherfuckers don't take the precaution to not have a child. Now they bring a kid into this world, and now the kid is sitting there in the middle. The kid is a pawn in the middle of a fucking game now. The father don't want him, and the mother didn't want him. But the mother will keep him as a chess piece, because since she couldn't keep the father, well, I got this kid, and you gonna pay me child support.
Yep.
If she wants you, but you don't want her, she gonna keep the kid out of spite to spite you. So now, since she can't have you, now she gonna be in your pocket through the court. But if she don't really give a fuck about you, she'll go and kill that baby, because they've legalized killing babies anyway. She'll kill that baby in a heartbeat. If she deems you non-important, she'll kill that baby in a heartbeat.
So I read that again.
Mm-hmm.
It says, do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to the whoredom and the land become full of wickedness. And the reason being like that too, now, there's nothing greater than the Israelite man, but the women are important.
Yep.
Because they were the extensions or the caregivers of the children. They was the first teachers, nourishers. That's why they kill the men for the strength, and they pollute the minds of the women. It destroys the nations.
That's right.
You know, because the men are the dictators or the leaders, and the women are the extensions of first their fathers, then their husbands.
That's right.
And then they teach their children of respect. They taught them math, arithmetic, how to take care of the house. They were the nurturers. The word nurturer or nursing comes from the mother. You didn't have these schools or these institutions where they had everything clammed together and dictated, you know?
That's why the scriptures say this. Ecclesiastes 26 and 7. An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that hath hold of her is as though he held a scorpion. Ooh. And when you're dealing with these women out here, the women of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, that's what you're dealing with. It's like you picked up a fucking scorpion, a live wire scorpion, and you trying to pick up the scorpion and hold it in your chest. And wonder why when the motherfucker sting you with that tail and you paralyzed, you wondering why. Have you picked up a scorpion, motherfucker?
Yeah.
You know, you picking up take a snake that's wounded and nurse the snake back to health, and then the snake turn and bite you. And you're like, wait a minute, I nursed you back, I helped you, why'd you bite me? And the snake is like, motherfucker, you knew I was a snake.
Yeah.
So that's what it's like dealing with these women. An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that hath hold of her is as though he held a scorpion. A drunken woman and a gatter abroad causeth great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. You know what that talking about? Like Suge Avery. A drunken woman and a gatter abroad. Gadding abroad meaning she's running around town with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. And she will not cover her shame. Because the number one, she'd be like, that's right, I'm grown. I'm grown. You ain't my father.
Yep.
I'm grown. You ain't my father. You don't tell me what to do. And then her father tried to tell her something. She'll tell her father that she grown. Her daddy can't tell her what to do.
Yeah.
And she glorifies in her fucking whoredom. Like, hey, I'll give you an example. Cardi B. That's a perfect... Suge Avery, Cardi B. Same bitch. The same nasty hoes. The same hoe. It says, a drunken woman and a gatter abroad causeth great anger, and she will not cover her own shame.
And but the whole thing is that who gives them that power? The serpent. And the whole thing is Esau uses the woman. That's why it touches a chord. You know, we said we ain't gonna go through the touch on the woman, but
I'm getting off it. I'm gonna get off.
But the spirit has come up because the second thing stronger to this truth is the woman.
And other philosophies, which is what we're talking about, the philosophy of what? The Queen of Heaven, the philosophy of Satanism, it all is centered around the worship of the Queen of Heaven, Semiramis, and her son Tammuz. It all goes back, and it all goes back to ancient Babylon. That was the ancient Babylonian system, which the Egyptians adopted the same shit, but it took on an Egyptian name. Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz became Isis and Horus. I think Isis, Horus, and Seth. I think. Um. So it came through, but in the Egyptian style, Semiramis was Isis, and the son, I believe, Horus, which was Tammuz. Now the name is Horus.
That's right.
So that's how it happened. All through and the East Indians got the same thing, but they got their name for it.
Yeah, they call it the Queen of Heaven, the goddess with 10,000 names.
Look at that.
It's all remix, but it's Satanism.
That's all it is.
And the thing is, the so-called Jew Esau, he uses that. That's his power source. That's why it's the mistress of witchcraft, and that's the abomination of one of the strongholds of our nation. That's why everybody, the majority of our people are mama boys. They bow down to the woman. This truth is the opposite. That's why we're mostly hated from the world, because we don't kiss the woman's ass, because as it's written, they even tried to get our Lord to worship his mother. It said, blesses your mother and her paps and everything else with that. Luke 11 and I think
Luke 11, it might be 11:27
I get
or something like that, but
11:27. That's it. Yep.
It said, blessed be the paps which thou hast sucked. Blessed be the womb that bare thee, and blessed be the paps. The paps is talking about the breast that thou hast sucked. And then the Lord said, rather instead, blessed be he that hear the word of the Most High and keep it.
That's it.
So he cut that bullshit. So the Lord wasn't the whole worship of Mary. The Lord never taught that shit to worship my mother.
No, Mary is the Queen of Heaven.
Right. And she became the Queen of Heaven during the Council of Nicaea in 324 AD with Constantine the Great in them. When they had the first ecumenical council, the whole thing of the council was the Lord divine? So they said, look, the Lord is divine. So since the Lord is divine, his mother is also divine. And they took the story of the Queen of Heaven and superimposed it as the explanation for the birth of Yahushua.
Isis, Horus, Seth.
Exactly.
Or really Semiramis and Nimrod.
And Tammuz.
Tammuz, yep.
So they took the story of Tammuz and Semiramis and they used it as an explanation for Mary and Yahushua. That's what they did. And that's where that teaching comes from. Goes back to the Council of Nicaea. So after 324 AD, that was the established teaching right there. Hey, in the Byzantine Empire, that was the beginnings of the Byzantine Empire right there, and that's what was taught. And you still teach it to this day. The Bible never taught you to worship Mary and pray to Mary. You don't have to pray to Mary for a damn thing. Mary can't do nothing for you. Mary's name don't mean nothing in the sight of the Most High.
Yeah, Mary's being sanctified through her son.
Exactly.
Who she gave physical birth, but spiritually, that's the Heavenly Father's son.
That's right.
But all this stuff goes into what the elders going through with Isaiah 19 and 14. It said, the Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit.
Yeah, just look at this kingdom and this society. Now I'm gonna read this article. It says these states require schools to teach LGBT history. Illinois is the latest state to expand its definition of American history. This was August 14, 2019, but it's up in the news right now because they're looking to try to bring a law nationally throughout the 50 states of the United States where that's going to be mandatory in the curriculum. That they, LGBT, do you understand LGBT history? Do you fucking understand what the hell's going on?
God.
And then, also Salakia. Then it says public schools in Illinois must include LGBT history in their curriculum starting in 2020. Starting in 2020 in Illinois, it's going to be included in their curriculum. Now, I'm not going to read through the whole article, but I'm going to jump down to I'm going to read a couple different parts here in the article. You can go read the article if you want. The name of the article, again, is called These States, is U.S. News. These states require schools to teach LGBT history. Put that up in Google, and the article will pop up by Casey Leans, staff writer, August 14, 2019. I'm going to read another point here. It says the law, which goes into effect July 2020, requires textbooks purchased with state grant funds to include the roles and contributions of all people protected under the Illinois Human Rights Act. it states that the teaching of history in the United States shall include a study of the roles and contributions of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people in the history of this country. So they're going after the children. Now, California became the first state to pass a law requiring schools to teach LGBT history in 2011, followed by Colorado and New Jersey in 2019.
And that's part of the perverseness. I'll read it again.
Yep.
It says, and the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to go error in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit.
Look at it. As a drunken man
Filth.
staggereth in his vomit. Filth. And in 2019, the brother Elder Ayathun brought out, the Church of Satan this year got an official charter with the United States government. So they have an official church charter. So now they're an operating entity, which they've always been here, but it's been on the low, in the shadows. But now it's in the forefront now. And this is a result of it. This shit we're reading right here, this is a result of the Church of Satan.
Yep.
Started by Anton LaVey, June 6, 1966. He declared that the year of Satan. June 6, 1966. When they started the Church of Satan, that's when they started it. They called that the year of Satan. It says here that it says pushback from state officials, conservative groups, and parents is one of the reasons why the law's implementation has been so slow in California, which didn't approve its first LGBT inclusive textbooks for kindergarten through eighth grade classrooms until 2017. Do you understand that? They're going after the babies, man. These motherfucking devils, they are going after the babies. I'm going to read it again. Now, it says pushback from state officials, conservative groups, and parents is one of the reasons why the law's implementation has been slow in California, which is the first state to approve it in 2011, which didn't approve its first LGBT inclusive textbooks for kindergarten through eighth grade classrooms until 2017. Kindergarten through eighth grade.
Yeah.
Kindergarten. These are little kids that sitting there fucking finger painting in the fucking. They're watching SpongeBob, but SpongeBob is a fucking gay cartoon anyway.
And they're teaching them how to have anal sex, and
right?
Use a condom and all this filth, man.
Filth shit.
What are you teaching children about sex for anyway? Because this is a perverse thing. Now, the whole agenda that the scripture said, we're not ignorant of the same devices, the whole agenda with the LGBT or Q, whatever, they add a different alphabet and perverseness every other month.
Yeah, every other month they got a new one.
Their whole agenda is really to get to children.
That's right.
To make it normal or legal to have sex with children. That's where you get NAMBLA from. And this has been an organization, I don't know the beginning of the founding year, but the North American Men and Boy Lover Association.
Yep.
Meaning that they got other associations chartered throughout the whole world. And they've been a charter or functional program for quite some time. And that's their end goal.
Right, the end game, right.
Because now, like the elders bringing out, like how Freddy Krueger and everything wanted to destroy the children. The whole thing with the Satanism or the witchcraft, the ultimate power or one of the keys to getting power is in the rectum of a little child. So that's their end game. And that's what they're part of their sexual magic. As filthy and nasty as it is, Scripture said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and he given it into the bases of men. The so-called white man is the basis of base, the lowest of low of even all the heathen.
Look at that. Right, it's the base of all the heathen. And which is what? The children. That's what they want. The children. The children are the ones that they're going after. Now, also on another note, what they announced yesterday also is a nigga named Billy Porter is going to play the fairy godmother in the latest live action Cinderella movie. So they got a new Cinderella movie coming out, and they're going to have a nigga fucking faggot, a queer ass folk. His name is Billy Porter, and he's going to be playing a fairy fucking godmother in a Cinderella fucking movie. The scriptures say there's a perverse spirit. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the land. And it don't get no more perverse than that, man. They're going after the children, man. Where's the balls in you Negro, West Indian, Puerto Rican, Haitian, Dominican men? Where's your balls at, man? They're going after your babies, man. They're going after the babies.
This is on Proverbs 8:13. It said, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil.
Right. You're supposed to hate evil, man. You're supposed to hate evil. And not come with that bullshit excuse that the Lord doesn't hate the sinner, but he hates the sin. That's bullshit. Because if I could find it in the book of Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, I believe it's Ecclesiasticus the 12th chapter, it says something different. A lot of your wicked ass nigger pastors will tell you that bullshit that God doesn't hate the sinner, but he hates the sin. If I could find it, I believe it's here. I believe it's here in the 12th chapter.
But that's bullshit. As the Lord said, he said, all the sinners of my people should die by the sword when you read Amos 9 and 10.
I got it right here.
Yep.
Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha 12 and 6. It says, for the Most High hateth sinners.
That's right, yeah.
And will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment.
And that's why a lot of you figure why the Lord just ain't come down and wax hot and destroy a lot of these faggots and lesbians, because the Lord is long-suffering.
Right.
And it's coming to a time, and he preserving them for that day of judgment so he can wax hot on their ass.
That's right. So I'm going to read it again. Ecclesiasticus, and we're going to close on this note. Ecclesiasticus 12 and 6. For the Most High hateth sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment, as the brother said. Verse 7. Give unto the good, and help not a sinner. So you ain't supposed to help these motherfucking queer-ass folk, man.
Yeah. Talking about marching for them, giving them rights.
Motherfuckers who own 22% of the fucking alphabet.
Yeah.
The alphabet people. You ain't supposed to give them fucking rights. You're not supposed to allow a bunch of man and boy lovers to have a fucking charter in the country. You're pushing, the next thing you're pushing for is the legalization of pedophilia and zoophilia.
That's right.
Those are the next two things that are coming next down the pipe.
And they have it legalized. That's why Isaiah 10 and 1 said, woe to them who decree unrighteous decrees.
That's right. So pretty much, that's pretty much what I wanted to say on the issue. And again, this is a hot topic. We're gonna touch it again sometime in the future anyway. So with that, I'm gonna say Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakakwadash, and double honor to the apostles, elders, and brethren out there, and Shalom.
Shalom, Maki.